So yesterday we've learned about the atom. We've learned about the parts of the atom. The building blocks of matter are atoms, and inside the atoms we see three subatomic particles, namely your protons, electrons, and neutrons. Your protons are positively charged, your electrons are negatively charged, and your neutrons don't have charge at all. So these are the different charges of your three subatomic particles. We also learned that in the atom there is a middle region in which the protons and the neutrons are together, and we call it the nucleus. So the nucleus is in the middle, containing the positive protons and the zero charge neutrons. Similarly, outside the nucleus of the atom, you will see the electrons moving around that region of space. And we call that region of space the electron cloud, where you find these electrons moving there. So for today, we are going to learn how to draw that picture of the atom, and at the same time be able to figure out what's the name of the element and the symbol of the element. So let's begin first by looking at what do we mean by neutral atoms. Like all the atoms here are neutral. When we say neutral, like neutron, it should be uncharged. Uncharged, or we can say zero charge atoms. So that's what we mean by neutral atoms. In what way will we reach a zero charge for our atom? By looking at your positive and negative only. So in a neutral atom, for us to reach a zero, we have to make sure that the number, this is not hashtag, okay? This is number of positive protons should be equal to the number of negative electrons. The positive should be equal to the negative. And mathematically, you know that. If the value of the positive and the negative are the same, it's going to sum up to zero. And that is similar for the atoms as well. Okay? So take note of that concept of neutral atoms. Okay, so let's now start with our first given. Our first atom has 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. By the way, do not make an assumption that the neutrons, this one, should always be equal to protons and electrons. Your neutrons may not be equal. Like number 2, neutrons is not equal to protons and electrons. So this will vary. We will get to know more about the neutrons later on. But make an assumption only for the protons and electrons to be the same. Only these two for the neutral atoms. Okay, so going back, how do I know what's my element for this particular atom? The strategy we're going to use is we look at the positive first. Again, let's look at the positive protons first. Let's relate it to life. Remember that in life, we focus on the positive because the positive are the things that truly matter, and that's what makes us truly happy and healthy. So in the atoms, the very first thing you need to focus, and the most important thing for us to know, so that we will know the name and symbol of the elements, should be the proton, the positive. So, what is so special with the positive protons? The positive protons, or shall we say the number of positive protons is always equal to the atomic number of the element. Let me repeat. Whatever is the number of protons, that's always equal to the atomic number of the elements found in the periodic table. If you have 6 protons for this atom, it means the atomic number is also 6. Then you go to your periodic table and find element number 6. What number are we talking about, Miss Narca? Okay, the number that you're going to look for are the numbers that you find on top of the symbol of the element. Every element is numbered from the very first, number 1, all the way to the right, number 2, then you go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way, and that is in correct order, all the way to the very last, the 118th element. And that numbering in the periodic table coincide with the atomic number. So it's easy to locate your element. So my first given has 6 protons, so atomic number 6. I look for element 6, I find it, so there's a 6 there, and I see that the name is carbon and the symbol is C, so I am going to write that down here. Name of the element is carbon, and the symbol of the element is capital letter C. And that is how I found out what my element is.